You know, I know the last video was dedicated to item roundup, but we're not done! Also the bumpkins.
Oh dear.
They're not here. They're their house. They have a very nice little house, but they're not there, and they're not in any of the... They're not in the nearby screens either, they're just not there. I'm not exactly sure why I came back to the Dark World, because it's much faster for me to go after what I'm after in the Light World.
Well,
at least you realized that quickly enough.
We must go to Link's house, because it's the closest teleportation to the Dark World for the thing I want to do.
Alright.
Speed travel only works in the Light World, so... you know, taking weird, awkward routes to get to where you need to go.
You know, that's something they fixed in Link Between Worlds. There's speed travel in both realms.
Ah, yes.
Okay.
Very handy.
I'm gonna play that game someday.
Well, I mean, if you tried to use speed travel in the Dark World here, you'd probably be picked up by a big skeleton duck, and would that really be comfortable?
Well, no, because then it's bony little talons would be digging into your hand.
I don't know if it'd be able to support your weight if it was just bones.
This is totally not obvious. There's a big old circle of rocks in a very individual island, and...
Hmm.
And apparently the piece of heart stops our sword beams, by the way.
That's weird.
Piece of heart has a hitbox, but now we have freaking 15 hearts!
You think you have enough?
That's a lot of hearts.
It's never enough hearts. But yeah, that was the last item I was after, so we can actually go to the dungeon now. As soon as
You're
I
good and
fail,
healthy, now go get another girlfriend.
Fine, fine, I'll go find another one for my collection of 3. So, welcome to the Skeleton Woods, or Skull Woods, whatever you want to call it. It's a pretty nasty place, honestly.
Welcome to a maze.
So, this dungeon has an interesting gimmick. There's a whole lot of different ways to enter it, including just random pits on the overworld.
A whole lot of ways. You did that to yourself.
I'm gonna metaphorically come over there and slap you.
I don't think that's how metaphors work.
I don't care! There's a firebar here.
There is indeed.
So, hilariously enough, this is one of the fastest ways to get this dungeon started, because, you know, it leads you in the direction of a couple of the dungeon items.
Mummies take forever to kill.
This is why I got the level 3 sword before coming here. Because these guys have too much HP.
You made a good decision.
Also, I left that treasure chest open a minute ago because this happens.
Oh.
Aha!
Yeah, let's just trigger that one at the most opportune moment.
Sneaky.
At
least they're not nasty enough to make that fire bar go far enough to hit you when you're standing in front of the chest.
Yeah, also this place is swarming with, what are they called? Wall masters? Wall masters.
Grabby hands.
It's weird to call them wall masters since they come from the ceiling now.
Yeah, basically, if you get hit by it, then you're going right back to where you started. It does take you back to the entrance in which you came from, so it tosses you to the pit that you were thrown into. Basically, it works like a forced magic mirror usage.
Yep. I don't think they've ever had enemies that they actually called ceiling masters, which is unfortunate because that's silly.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's where that other lock key door goes. Basically, there's 2 ways to exit that maze. Both of them are locked doors, so I kind of have a spare key at the moment.
I was distracted by that Moldorm thing spazzing out on top of the chest.
We can't get that chest yet. First, we have to go into this entrance.
You don't have the big key yet.
Now, for the longest time, for some reason, I thought that the only way to pull one of these statues was to lift Titan's Myth. I was just doing something wrong, but yeah.
I think you just push them normally, don't you?
Yeah, but I thought, like, for some reason, past, like, me as of much younger, didn't realize that you could, like, for some reason I don't think the pulling actually works with the Titan's Myths, but I'm pretty sure I was imagining things. Also, doors!
Hitboxes of switches.
Hitboxes of switches. That has to be directly over it.
Add it to the list of things that have strange hitboxes in this game.
So the skeletons look exactly like honeypots.
You have avoided becoming a bunny.
I want to be a bunny. Also, the skeletons look exactly like their light world counterparts, but have like 5 times as much health.
Huh.
Skeletons are the normal thing here in the Dark World.
Pretty much. They didn't even get a palette swap. They just look exactly the same and do the exact same things, but just have more HP. Anyway, since we have the big key, we can actually go get the big chest.
Yay.
Logic.
Yes, although it looked to be in a really weird spot. It was just up in a corner that had no way to get to it. But we can follow the Lightward hole, since this one's in the same place. And it takes us to a new location.
How many entrances does this dungeon have? Like 5,
All
8?
of them.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7.
I was close.
You left that in a pretty bad location, Pink.
Yeah, whoops. Thankfully you can still get by it.
That fireball got confused.
Because I did actually have to press that, because there would be holes here otherwise. Boom!
Yeah, sure, okay, whatever. That's a very practical switch to put in your dungeon.
Totally.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome to just have an entire wall explode away like that.
You got the fire rod, use it on those stupid mummies.
It does shell one-shot them, which is very nice.
Indeed it does.
In fact, it one-shots a lot of things. The fire rod's pretty awesome.
Yep.
It's a pretty nice thing to have.
That said, it's almost exactly as powerful as the ice rod, and you can't go and hit things with the hammer to get magic from them with the fire rod, so it's hit and miss.
It's more direct than the ice rod. The ice rod has a 2-step process.
Yes, it's good for being fast about your mass murders. So there's yet another key door that's just kind of hanging out there. Guess what? That one's useless too. Also, he totally fell down that pit.
Weird.
Oh, there's just another key hanging out. If you go into the right path, you'll get a pit entrance that leads to that area we couldn't go to just a moment ago.
This is where you need the fire rod, because I have no idea what that thing you just burned was.
I
Yeah,
have
really.
no idea. Some form of centipede bug thing, and there's no indication they have to use the fire rod there, so... okay.
Why didn't you get the chest?
Because you can't go across to there. There's something blocking you, so you have to come around the long way.
That's kind of what I thought. But it looks so gettable.
I know, but
And
it's really taunting you.
you totally need all these keys, right?
I got 3 keys. Definitely gonna use them all.
Man, you gotta go unlock those useless doors or else the OCD people will freak out.
Never!
That thing was confused.
Yeah, that fire bar tends to have issues. Also, more ceiling wall master shenanigans because
It would be kind of funny if they could actually fall down those pits.
it'd be nice. Those things are really annoying, and they're really present in this last section of the dungeon.
You can't really do anything to stop them from coming. If you kill them, they just come at the same rate, so...
Have a hand!
I don't want a hand! Killing them slows them down very slightly, but yeah, very slightly.
Some Zelda games should have, like, giant disembodied foots that come down from the ceiling and stomp on you.
Hitboxes!
Well, that would be Monty Python.
So yeah, I mean, the Ceiling Master was only high in the sky, but the fire hit it anyways, and behind curtain number 1 is the next door.
And another key, as if you needed some.
Real close.
Ugh.
Yeah, just a bit.
So this pit leads to the boss. So, guys, are you prepared for the most ineffective strategy of all time?
This should be good.
The most ineffective strategy
really?
of all time?
Pause for effects.
For some reason, this guy is vulnerable to the good bee.
Wow. The more you know. You
Yeah,
caught a
problem,
bee.
though.
You gotta be.
The good people only hit him so many times before flying off, so I decided to just go on full-on stupid here and just juggle using the good bee to kill this boss, even though it takes way more hits than just using the fire rod. And actually makes this like 10 times harder than it needed to be because his hitbox still exists as well as everything else, and the bug man is really delayed.
I guess.
Think you may have problems.
Out-stupiding this boss is its own reward. Like, in a normal situation, this boss usually feels kind of like a damage race more than anything.
What the?
This is not the best way to do this.
That's an understatement.
It takes so many hits. So many hits. Like, upon practice, sending out the good bee and using the fire rod it's not worth it either because the good bee sends this thing catapulting all over the room.
As if you needed more things catapulting all over this room.
Yeah.
Like, the best thing to do is just use the fire rod, and if an awkward situation is coming your way, use the cape. But
I think when I fought this boss, I usually just swung the sword madly until somebody died.
I don't think this guy's actually vulnerable with the sword.
I thought he was.
I think it's just the fire rod and the good bee, I guess.
That is one good bee.
Go bee! We're gonna keep using you until this thing dies!
I tried to use golden bees on some bosses in Link Between Worlds and it didn't work.
I don't know why he's vulnerable to the bee, but keep juggling!
That is bizarre.
Well, we already had the Master Bug Catching Dance, so we might as well have the next extreme.
I bet the cape would be pretty handy in this fight.
The cape is pretty freaking handy in this fight. I used it a lot in practice. Like, I would use it while the bee was scurrying around to make sure I didn't get hit sometimes, but it became too difficult to juggle the bee without it flying off screen, because you gotta pick that thing back up fast, or it'll just leave.
The bee
Your good bee gained all the experience.
My bee leveled up to maximum level. It defeated the boss all by itself.
This girlfriend belongs to the bee.
Because
she
of you.
will be the bee queen.
Yes, breed all the good bees. The good bees will maintain an army and keep peace of Hyrule once more.
Did you hear about the Great Cataclysm? I mean, watch the intro cutscene.
Only a person in the Knights of Hyrule who protected the royalty can become the hero. I'm out of the bloodline, the bee is! Didn't you see this fight?
Well...
Yeah, really.
I don't know what to say.
Best boss strategy.
Clearly.